Hey! Hey!
What we just saw here was an example of a public. A public is a space of discourse that exists through being called into being. So the person walking wasn't called by her name, however, she turned around because she thought she was being addressed. This moment of her turning around is interpolation, which is when the audience is called into being. The moment she turned around is the moment that she became part of the public that was being created by the person saying, "Hey, you." There was also a piece of this where she didn't turn around, the first "hey." This is an example of how a public can be imaginary. By imaginary, I mean awkward time frame of a few seconds where she didn't turn around because she didn't really know if it was being called to her. But once they repeated the "hey," she turned around because she thought that they were talking to her. She joined the public. A public is a social space created by a reflexive circulation. The reflexive means you in the context of the larger picture. Another example of a public was a concert I went to this past week. Everyone there, although strangers, were connecting on a level of discourse, being the music. The discourse created was the music sung by the artist. A public must be created by a person. It can't be created by a government because they're doing it based on capital. It must be personal and it must be reflexive. So I was a part of a larger context, being the crowd. All of us were connected in the public of us liking the same artist.
We hate Trump!
Impeach
We
Trump!
hate Trump! We
Impeach
hate
Trump!
Trump!
Impeach
We
Trump!
hate Trump!
Impeach Trump! Impeach Trump! Impeach Trump! Impeach Trump! Impeach.
On the other hand, we have counterpublics. These are a group of people that don't fit into the "hey you" category. They are a group with certain beliefs that want you to know that they're not part of the larger public. They're more of the majority. They believe certain things that the majority don't believe. Although a lot of people don't like Donald Trump, in this example, the protest of the president is still an example of a counterpublic. Because they are going against the government, they are creating conflict and going against the norm, which would be to support the president. Other examples of counterpublics in history would be the hippie movement, because they went against war, they used drugs, and protested against most of the norms in society at the time. Counterpublics ultimately create a space where the new behavior is seen as normal. So now their abnormal feelings become normal in their counterpublic.